Give me a smoke, otherwise I'm going to die. These were the words that Tiffany allegedly uttered to the investigating officer, Sergeant Deco, just before he arrested her on the 11th of July for the murder of her son, Jayden Lee. Now, Tiffany is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and these are all allegations against her. So firstly, we're going to be talking about Tiffany. She was dressed in the same clothes as yesterday. She seemed a bit haggard to me. I don't know if it's because she hasn't had the opportunity to wash, but it looks like she slept in those clothes. And I was thinking maybe that's why she's wearing the beanie, right? Because perhaps she hasn't had the option to wash her hair in a few days. And she was very stoic, very calm, much calmer than we've seen her. And Mr. Naidu, her defense attorney, I was worried that he was going to turn Sergeant Deco into mincemeat yesterday. And I have to apologize to Sergeant Deco. I don't know if they watched our critique, but Sergeant Deco was prepared. And he impressed me today because he held his own with Mr. Naidu. And at times, he even controlled the narrative. He took the narrative away from Mr. Naidu, in my opinion, and asserted his own narrative. So that's just my personal points of view, but I will be elaborating on those as we go. So the day started off with Mr. Naidu. They were arguing about addresses, about who had given who an address for KZN. And basically, it came down to Sergeant Deku saying that, you know what, I don't think Tiffany is safe on the outside. And I mean, we kind of knew this, right? Because in my live last night, even people from like Durban were commenting and saying, if she comes to Durban, we'll get her. So, because Mr. Naidu was asking, like, do you think the people of South Africa will go and harm her? And Mr. Diku's like, yeah, I do think so, because of the outcry that is associated with this case. And then Mr. Naidu went on to say, well, have you ever shared a cell designed for 80 people with 20 people? And he withdrew the comment immediately. But I think those are probably Tiffany's current living conditions, right? It's probably rough in there, in the jail. And basically, they went on from that, right? And Mr. Deku didn't give way. He didn't give way on the addresses. He said, look, you gave me an address in Durban. You provided it to me. I just confirmed it. Then we got what we went on to briefly about a bishop statement, and that what was said in the bishop statement about Tiffany being Jocelyn number 2, right? Basically Kelly number 2. And Mr. Naidu denied knowing about that. And we go to the 19th of June, where apparently Mr. Naidu and his officers, they went to the police station and they told the police that, hey, listen, if you ever want to arrest my client, if you ever want, to bring her in for questioning, we'll bring her in, we'll do this in the gentleman fashion. And I think they were probably quite alarmed when Tiffany was arrested on the 11th of July, because she was arrested and Mr. Naidu says he wasn't contacted, but the press were. Now, I'm going to just comment here briefly, right? We know Tiffany has gone around using the press to her advantage, saying all sorts of things about the SAPS. Like, I can't blame the SAPS personally for, after what Tiffany was saying in the media, for them to be like, hey, listen, let's just skip a call to Mr. Naidu and let's just go get her and show her off to the press. Like, I honestly can't blame them. It's probably not the most gentlemanly thing to do, but I can't blame them for that, because, I mean, she dragged their name through the mud and they were probably like, hey, listen, we're going to show you now. So then we get to the point where Mr. Naidu said, well, you know what, my client wanted to call her attorney, she wanted to call me, and you refused. And Mr. Deku started he was like, no, he was very offended by this. And he said, no, your client actually wanted a smoke. She said, give me a smoke, otherwise I'm going to die. I offered her my phone, but the only thing she wanted was a smoke. And he said, I gave it to her because I didn't want her to die, and it looked as though she wasn't breathing. So I just thought that was pretty amusing. But anyway, Now, there was a lot of discussion about Jayden's clothes today, and I went and did some research for you guys. I've got some research of my own that I went to go do. So the educator who they took a statement from confirmed that Jayden attended school that day, and he was wearing a red tracksuit, a white top with a navy stripe, a navy blue golf t-shirt with the school logo, and red and white pants, and he had his black school bag, which we actually saw in court today. It actually made an appearance in court at the end. And then if we look at, remember security 1, who said he let Jayden in, right, when Jayden came home from school, the day shift guard. Security 1 said he saw Jayden wearing a red jacket and black shorts. And then we have Tiffany, who's Tiffany's statement, and she says when she reported him missing, he was wearing black tackies, long grey pants, a white shirt, which was short sleeves, and a tie, as well as long grey pants. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about this is that in Tiffany's statement, there's no mention of a jacket or a jersey. And I went and I looked up the weather in Roodepoort on that day, the 13th of May, and it was 8 degrees minimum and 23 degrees maximum. And yet she sent her son to school without a jersey or a jacket. And another thing I'm going to say is that we don't know what the sport policies are, right? We don't know if Jayden does sport. We know he played soccer, right? And I went and I looked on the Facebook of the school, and their shorts for their sport is like a dark blue that could be mistaken for black. So I saw that in the pictures from the school, and we don't know if he did a sport after school, changed, and then put the rest of the stuff in his bag, for example. So the school uniform stuff, to me, it wasn't really anything that was crazy. I went and looked on the Facebook page, and the school has a lot of different colors. They've got a jersey that is red, like a jersey like this. They've got a red jacket, which is more like tracksuit-like. And then they've got like a blue blazer, which looks like it's for formal occasions. And then they've got different types of pants. So they've got these long red pants, also like tracksuit pants. Then they've got the blue shorts for sport. And then the more formal long grey pants. And they have a variety of different coloured shirts. So they've got a navy shirt, a red shirt, and kind of like an off-white grey. And these are all like kind of golf shirts, right? With the school logo on. So, and in the Facebook pictures that I saw of the school, there were kids wearing a combination of all of these above that I mentioned. It doesn't seem as though it's a very strict dress code. I know I grew up in a school that had a very strict dress code, but it seems to be more lax in the situation from my own personal opinion. So now we're going to go on to the guard book, and there's definitely going to be a part 2 about this because we have to chat about the guard book, also known as the occurrence book. So according to Tiffany, when she went to go look for Jayden and report him missing at 5 o'clock, she went to the day shift guard, right? Remember, she says this in her affidavit. She knew that he was in the complex by 5. And according to Tiffany's side of the story, she gave him the number. And then she said she's going to the shop. She's going to walk down to the shop to look for Jayden. And if Jayden comes in, then they must phone her. Now, according to the guard book that was produced, there's no record of this. Then at 7 p.m., this is now when guard number 2 has taken over, the night shift guard. The Lyft driver comes to fetch Tiffany to take her to the police station. And on the way out, Tiffany says, I'm going to the police station to report Jayden missing. Listen, here's numbers if you want to call me. And according to the guard book, which the police have in evidence, which I'll talk about now, the controversy, there's no record, right, of that being entry. Now, apparently, after Tiffany went back to the complex, after going to the hospital with Jayden's body, she came to the guardhouse and she had an argument with the securities because she said she had given them her number. Why did it take them 40 minutes for them to contact her when they had found Jayden's body? And they wanted to take a photo of the book, but there was stuff that was missing. And I'm going to get to that in part 2.